Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Citizen Sleeper. And in the last episode, guys, Peake discovered that we are running against the clock, more so than any other time during the Sleeper's experiences here on the Eye, because the flux is coming in 12 cycles, 12 days. And we're on day 88 right now, so either on cycle 100 or cycle 101 is when the flux is going to hit the Eye and wipe it out, and potentially the refugee flotilla as well. However, there is a plan, and it revolves an old friend who offered us a new life that we actually rejected here in the Greenway. We're going to use the gardener and spread this consciousness across the entire station because it can actually wipe out that shadow directive that is part of the flux, the thing that's going to do the most damage. However, we have got a lot to do. We need to help out stuff here on the Climbing Briar, on the Pilgrim Seed, in the dust houses of Ember's Step. We need to talk to Peter here and see what Ember's Song needs. Not to mention, we're trying to find Fang as well, and going to all of these different locations to make sure that the gardener can actually go across the Eye systems without messing up the Eye itself. So yeah, our laundry list is very long, and we don't have a lot of time to do this, so we've got to hope for some good dice and good vibes. But we're not going to get any good vibes because it's time to talk to Peter. The docking access is in chaos when you arrive. The staccato burst of welding torches, the shouts of crews gathering, the rapid flow of supplies and kit from dock to dock. You can tell already that news of the flotilla's imminent departure has reached this place before you. Come to join the Exodus, Sleeper? Peter approaches you from one of the working crews, a smile on his face, and a lightness in his step that you haven't seen before. What's happening? Peter gestures to the chaos. The singers are rising, Sleeper. Peter eyes you. I suppose you're here on Soul's orders again? He winks at you. Nothing Ember's heart like to do more than ordering people around. I'm here by choice, Peter. Fair enough. Just your timing seems to always be a cycle or two after we get some requests from the Hearth ship. He shrugs an exaggerated shrug. Must be a coincidence. Well, Soul has it lucky anyway. His request for us to dismantle the Axis and be the vanguard for the flotilla's onward journey to the Starward Belt aligns perfectly with our plans. What plans? To leave this damned place, of course. We've been prepping since the cordon collapsed. If we can build our escape and make the Hearth ships think we're complying with their orders at the same time, then it's a 2-in-1 for us. Peter shakes his head. Those idiots will never see it coming. You're leaving the flotilla? We are our own flotilla, Sleeper. Peter looks away at the busy Axis. We aren't going to tie ourselves to Heart and Step any longer. Why would we? To help them. Peter scoffs. They're taking on evacuees from the Eye. That's what I heard. So how about they help themselves before they ask us to make up for their bad decisions? Peter looks down. Look, it's nothing against you or yours, Sleeper, but we have to get out from under the shadow of Step and Song. And this is the time. Peter grimaces. We won't let the flux catch us again. Not a chance. Not a chance. And for the first time, you see fear in his eyes. Want to help us make that leap? Grab a torch. Talk to a crew. You're welcome to it. Peter sniffs. Every person here is free to prove themselves. I'll help when I can. Peter nods. Just a stop on the road, Sleeper. I'm afraid that's all this was. Peter glances out past the docking access, through the outer windows to the stars beyond. A lot of space out there for those willing to take it. He looks you in the eye. I hope you'll be around before we go, but if not, he smiles. You stay strong. And with that, Peter thumps you on the shoulder and heads back to his crew, with a purpose, a direction visible in every step of his rapid stride. Ooh, interesting. Crew management. Okay, the ships from Ember's Song will act as scouts and security for the evacuees. That means dismantling the docking axis. Don't know if we necessarily should help them out, but we've got a lot to do here. Alright. So, let's go and grab some mushrooms. And what I mean by that, I mean mushroom stew. Where are you at? Ah, thank you, Emphas. Get some grub. Go home. Feed the kitty. And this is where the maintenance comes in. And you know what? How about 2? Alright. Looking good. End the cycle. Don't know whether we should focus on one thing or try and do everything. Depends on the dice, really. Oh, that's not good. Thanks, I hate it. Let's head to Fang's Bay. I guess out to lunch is a extended process. Get that taken care of, and we'll head over, because I know we're going to have to do stuff on the grid, too. That's just a matter of time. Alright. Maybe dust house tending, greening step, or harvest. Okay, it's about the same. However, this has a bigger problem if we actually fail. So let's go ahead and, to be used on the flotilla's outward trip, the dust houses will need careful tending, especially those being adapted to greenway plants. There's 2. Reroll. Ew. Alrighty. Well, I mean, that is slightly better than what we were having to deal with before. Crew management. Let's go ahead and do axis reclamation. As the docking axis is dismantled and the individual ships refitted, as much of the material as possible needs to be reclaimed. And then, oh, that's not on the Briar. Pilgrim Seed. And prep. Supply hauling. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. Need many supplies for the trip to the Starward Belt, and they have to be hauled aboard in only a few cycles. Well, it's going to be more than a few, I'm afraid. Now, all of these have some significant consequences behind them. I am curious, what was it if we messed up with Fang? I think we would just lose energy. Yeah, we just lose 1 energy, so let's go ahead and do that. We got a 25. Yeah, let's see what happens. Hey! Good stuff. Man, we rolled that. That's it. No more wasting time. Peake sighs and pulls out their slate. They crack open a box on the side of the bay's shutter and wire the slate to what's inside. Maybe your friend has a Haven Age pass card or something inside. Peake shoots you a glance. Something they wouldn't mind if we borrow. Now, let's wait. Peake doesn't look up. We haven't got time to wait. Coming here was a mistake. After a few tense moments, the shutter jerks and begins grinding open, the noise making you jump. Let's get inside. Peake glances around. Quickly. You slip into the dark of the bay, punctuated by the blinking lights of Fang's piles of servers, somehow even more disordered than before. Peake makes a beeline for the desk at the center, scattered with tools and components. They flick on a lamp and stare at the mess. Are you sure this person can help us? Yes. You're interrupted by the sound of footsteps from the entrance. Someone's come in behind you. Peake freezes. I could swear I closed this shutter when I left. Fang leans on a stack of servers near the entrance. Must be getting forgetful. He grins at you. Fang! Good to see him, you know. The very same. Fang smiles and raises an eyebrow. Thought you'd come rob an old friend? Is that the plan? We need your help. Fang nods. You're here about the flux. Peake nods and is suddenly giving Fang their full attention. Fang smiles, pleased with himself. I guessed as much. I saw changes in the old system architectures almost immediately. Some of them have been running since the first days of the station, so when I saw new patterns like shifts in logic, I knew something must have happened. These past cycles I've been doing a total inventory of the core systems, from the hub to the rim. He grins. I've surprised myself, to be honest. Didn't think I had it in me. Peake seems unamused. And what did you find? Well, that's the thing. There's something, all twisted up in the systems and protocols, but every time I look at it, it disappears. Peake finishes. Fang turns to you. Do they always do that? Peake ignores him. It's a shadow protocol. It masks itself somehow, bedding into the gaps between the systems, in the negative space. It is slowly filling every system in the station, slowly taking over, and we need to stop it. You need to grant us access to all the core systems of the station, rotational control, life support. Fang holds up a hand. Whoa, slow down there. I don't even know your name. Fang shakes his head. And you're asking for the keys to the castle? Can't be done. Fang, it's me. Fang pauses and glances between both of you. How long have you known this one, Sleeper? I mean, I know I owe you, but I also know that you trust too easily. Sorry to say it. Peake cuts in. I can vouch for myself. I came to the Eye on the run from the XPR colony Hawthorne with the intent to keep running until we hit the Starward Belt. But since I have been here, I have done everything in my power to protect this place. I have helped to stabilize the refugee flotilla, to investigate the flux, to identify and make a plan to purge the Shadow Protocol from the station's systems. Meanwhile, Haven H has done everything to stop and slow these actions. I've proven myself as a friend to the people of this station, not the administration, many times over, and I will not be doubted by someone who wears the badge of this corrupt administration. Peake fixes Fang with a hard look. Fang looks down at their Haven Age jacket and shrugs. This is all I have in my wardrobe. Look, I've no love for the Council either, friend, but someone has to run this place, and that someone is me. Fang walks over to the workbench where you're both standing and digs a slate out of the pile of tools. You want to prove yourself? Show me. Peake grabs the slate, and you recognize the tangled form of a flux node on the screen. Peake immediately starts tapping away at it, its tendrils unwinding, and the shadow, just slightly delayed, slipping out of sight. Fang leans in. Interesting, he says to himself. Before long, Peake has unfolded the system completely, and it lies splayed out like an unwound ball of string. At the center, with nowhere left to hide, is the dark stain of the Shadow Protocol, visible for all to see. What now? Fang asks, his eyes fixed on the screen. How do you kill it? That's why we're here, Fang. Fang looks intrigued. Go on. There's one entity on the station that we have seen purging the shadow. The Gardener. Fang frowns. Who's that, some Greenway hacker? Peake glances at you. More like an avatar of the Greenway itself. You explain the Gardener to Fang, the feeling of descending into the flowing river of consciousness. You explain the network chorus, the non-human collective of voices. You tell them of the farming AI's offer to you, to be networked into the chorus, dissolved in its flow. Then you explain that by granting it access to the AI's major networks, you hope to reinforce them. Fang is silent for a moment. And you want to let this thing out? He shakes his head. It's the kind of stupid plan I'd dream up. He pauses. I like it. Then he smiles. This place is ran with weird protocols and forgotten intelligences anyway. What's one more ghost in the machine? We tried to limit it, of course, Peake explains. That's why we want your help to access the AI's major systems, to seed some of the gardener's spores into them, to draw the gardener's focus to those places. So the way we save the eye is by growing mushrooms in all the server stacks. Sleeper, congratulations. You found someone weirder than you. Peake goes to argue, but Fang holds up a hand. In it is an all-systems Haven Age pass card with his picture on it. Take it, before I change my mind. Thank you, Fang. Don't mention it. Fang gives you a look. In all honesty, Sleeper, I was on my way back here to start tearing the place down. Shadow Protocol had me spooked, so if you're telling me you figured out a way we might fight it... He looks at Peake. No matter how crazy. Then I'm glad to help. He smiles a tight smile. Come with us, Fang. No, Sleeper. He looks away. I have to keep on with my work here. Strengthen those systems. Back up the data. Worst comes to worst, I'll need to rebuild, and I won't let this place die. The last pieces of my parents are here. Among the data. Well, goodbye, Fang. Fang embraces you firmly. You stay safe, Sleeper. You take the card and leave the bay with Peake. Once you're outside, they stop you. We should split up. Peake looks worried. We've wasted enough time as it is. Head to the facilities in the hub, the Free Spoke, and the far side of the shipyard. Seed the gardener there. I'm going to find the core control center that's somewhere on the rim. They hold up their slate. I'll send you a message on your slate when I have something. Good luck. They squeeze your shoulder, and you exchange fearful looks. You know deep down that Peake isn't sure that this will work, but they've decided to act, to move with confidence, and for that confidence you are very thankful. Okay, all in all a productive day. Back to home. Feed the kitty. Oh, actually, hold up. We go to the stall. We talk to Emphas. I think we'll grab something at the bar later. Alright. Now we feed the kitty. And call it a day. I think we're doing okay. Maybe? Possibly? Ooh, okay, we're gonna do fine now. Prepare ourselves, like we're not even going to be using these stabilizers. We are good to go. I'm glad we took that one episode just doing nothing but farming. Alright, so we have all the Haven Age agents and such. Where? Help all the flotilla ships. Wait, Haven Age offices, right? Fragments of... Oh, wait. No. Power routing. Key station facility. System seated. Oh, we need spores. Oh, dear. Okay. That could be a bit of a problem here. Cross to the Greenway. I mean, of course, I should have thought about that ahead of time. 2 grove spores. Okay, we need spores in massive quantities here. So wait, let's see how many we need. So we needed 3 spores over here at the Haven Age. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So that's 3 spores there. Where was the bar shift? No. I'm trying to remember where this was, so apologies. The exchange, sell components, play the exchange. I assume one of them is... Okay, life support. They're popping up here. 1, 2, 3. So we need 9. Is that correct? Rotational control? Yeah, 9 spores. Oof. So we essentially need to throw 10 dice into, or excuse me. Yeah, we need to throw all of our dice into collecting spores today. If we want to get this done, and done right. 2 grove spores. Yep. I mean, might as well. We've got the dice to guarantee it. Okay. Now, we basically have just to hold on till the flux. That's the key. So, life support. The garden is implanted, now it must grow. Oh, crap. 1 a day. Oh, wait a minute. Did I just waste all of that dice on... Oh, no. I did. I misunderstood. And that might cause us some problems. Wait. Yeah, it's 1. System seated. I thought it was for each one. Alright, well, I have just messed up royal, guys. Not horribly so. But I messed up 3 dice. I lost 3 dice, which sucks in this case, but... I mean, we don't really have much of a... We don't have much of a choice in the matter. Okay, we gotta go upstairs. Maybe I had fungus on the brain. Rotational control. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. As you leave, the slate Peake gave you chirps incessantly. You check and see a message. Found a possible entry to the core facility in the low end. Meet me here ASAP, Peake. A blinking marker gives you their position as on the free spoke side of the main block. Better head to the low end. No, I'm gonna go get some food. And we're gonna think about the horrendousness that we've done here. Okay, there's Peake here. Next to Caster's table. Alright, let's go to the Bantian. And we are going to... Yeah, we're going to cook. We're going to eat a little bit. There we go. We're going to make our own food today. It's anxiety cooking. And... No, I don't need anything else, I don't think, in terms of money. Now we just need a way to get dice back. Well, let's at least go talk to Peake and see what we have to do. You arrive at the coordinates given by Peake's slate, a run-down but active corner of the low end, where a short, glass-roofed alley turns off from one of the main thoroughfares. You wait in the mouth of the alley, leaning against the wall and watching the street life go by. Children hop across grids scratched into metal floor plates, playing games of their own devising, while older residents sit and talk or play tabla. Is it hard to believe that all this is a threat? It seems so concrete, so real. Or is that threat? How can some intangible protocol erase all of this? As you're watching, a voice calls out to you from one of the tabla tables set up along the way. You move a little closer and recognize the sitting player immediately. Caster sits, tabla pieces and board ready in front of him, smiling at you. "Ah, Sleeper, my partner has not arrived for our usual game. Come, please, take her place." He beckons you over, standing and nudging you to sit down with him. "A rematch is in order. You owe me a game." Almost immediately, Caster begins the game. Everyone in the eye knows how to play tabla, the methodical movement of the counters across their triangular points, a ready fit for the rhythm of life on the ramshackle space station. Most games begin the same way, with each player moving with independence, focused only on achieving their optimal early game setup. But there's a moment in each game where it becomes necessary to notice the other player, to anticipate the crossing of the counters across the board. Point of contact when routine becomes negotiation, and negotiation becomes conflict. At this moment arrives, this subtle shift in the texture of the interaction. Caster begins to speak. "I find myself surprised by you, continually, Sleeper." He looks over his glasses at you. "The way you conduct yourself, for example, suggests an anxious refrain, a defensive, protective quality. But in your tabla game..." He pauses to move a counter. "I see only risk." Have you been watching me? Let's not be paranoid. You are aware of my interest in you, are you not? Risk is of course necessary to play tabla. To move a piece is to expose it, but it should be done with calculation, with proper analysis. Then if the piece is taken... Caster moves a counter, taking one of yours with a practice swap, placing it beside the board. It is already accounted for. But you move forward with abandon, as if risk was just a secondary effect of action, a consequence, and not its primary guide. He gestures for you to take a turn. A cause. Considering what we just did with the mushrooms, he's making a lot of sense. Let's silently play. Caster nods. You see what I mean? Risky in play, but defensive in mood. He smiles, and you move your piece. This locks you into being reactive. If you don't mind me saying so, you're responding, which means you are being led. He leans back to consider the board. This place, it mirrors you, Sleeper. It is also reactive. It was born from a crisis, the collapse of Solheim, and ever since it has been reacting without any central guiding principle. No analysis, no calculation. Just look at our refugee crisis, for example. It is all reaction, all risk-taking, and little risk calculation. At first I found the chaos enlivening, especially when trying to track its outcomes, but now I find it exhausting. You know, it always amuses me that this place is literally spun from the rim. Below this very stack of habitation blocks is the most important control facility on the eye. Spun from the rim. Oh, what better metaphor could you find for disorder? His face drops. But why am I telling you that? That facility is precisely why you are here. He smiles, an unsettling, warm smile. You feel a shiver through your body, as if something has changed in the air. How do you know about that? No words come out of your mouth. You feel removed from yourself, watching from behind frosted glass. Your eyes dart side to side. Inertia sets in. Caster is still smiling. The risk you are planning to take here, Sleeper, is not yours to take. Caster's tone is unshifted. He speaks as if this is still some casual conversation between passing acquaintances. You are leaping toward a chaotic outcome with no respect for risk. You see, calculating outcomes, that's my specialty. That's why I'm here. I was hired as a conduit for risk, as a collector of data that might pertain to its arrival. He removes his glasses to clean them, and you see something flicker across their surface, a shimmering stream of characters. This system, this station, is already theirs. Solheim's collapse meant a corporate fire sale. Assets changed hands. My employers, Senetstat, bought out the entire system, and for the past decades I have been its one valid owner. He polishes his glasses diligently. But to possess this system, the H1 system? He pauses. Helion to you. Well, that is a matter of risk. Of how much force, how much cost, how much conflict the clearance would take. He replaces his glasses. The risk must be calculated against the favorable outcome. In short, how much is this place worth to us? For a long time, the answer was nothing. H1 could offer nothing that would warrant the risk. But the markets change, the demands shift, and Senetstat, we analyze, we follow, we respond. He puts his glasses back on his face. H1 is about to become the most important system in this part of the galaxy. He glances around. The lone KAN channel operating within range of 7 or so newly surveyed resource-rich systems. The frontier town that feeds the gold rush, so to speak. So, here we are, reevaluating the risk, reclaiming our property, starting up the KIN channel and clearing the way for what comes next. He sits back, looking at the board. He gestures. Your move. You will kill thousands. You manage to force out the words, and Castor looks a little surprised. I am an analyst sleeper. I will do nothing. He shakes his head. Senetstat as a corporate body will take the required actions. Of course, I do not need to explain myself to you, but in the role of an analyst, in my calculations, I see great promise in you, in your ability to enter systems, to shift them to your will. Not every sleeper has this capacity, I assume you know that. He smiles. It truly is a wonderful happenstance of SNR's technology. I imagine even they are not fully aware of it. He takes his move, claiming another of your pieces, and as you watch, you realize the inevitability of his victory. I will make you an offer, to come willingly or come by force. This station will collapse, we can be sure of that, but your ability to work with data, well, for an analyst, that is very intriguing. He pauses to push his glasses up his nose. Very intriguing indeed. He glances around. You come with me as a collaborator or as a prisoner. Consider the risk. On one hand, almost certain death, and on the other, a possible future. Analyst or not, you must see it. Speak now, sleeper. The game is forfeit, you must see that. He holds out a hand. You are of value. You are needed. You feel a slight release in the inertia that grips you, enough to allow you to speak, to respond. You realize that you're already in Castor's hands, that you cannot move from this place if you wanted. Sleeper? You hear the familiar voice above the crowds. Sleeper, I'm here. You're unable to turn your head to see Peake, but you notice Castor's eyes following them as they come up from behind you. Then you see Castor's eyes glance down toward his hands, concealed beneath the table. A sleeper! Peake comes around the front of you and waves a hand in your face. We were supposed to be meeting, remember? They glance at Castor. Sorry, am I interrupting something? You cannot speak. Castor shoots Peake a wide smile. Hello! You must be a friend of Sleeper. You watch one of his hands lift, close to his body. Some dark shape concealed in it. A weapon. You try to scream, shout, but Castor's attention remains partially on you. And while it does, you can do nothing. Peake glances at your static form. What's happening here, Sleeper? They put a hand on your shoulder. Are you okay? As Peake stares into your eyes, you see Castor behind. his hand lifting, the dark object unfolding. And in the split moment it does, you feel his attention shift to Peake, shifting away from you. As you do, you feel the inertia lifting, and you know this is the only moment you'll have to act. Scream or shove. Oh, God. You know what? This is a perfect place to go ahead and call it an episode, guys. I'm sorry. But I think one of these will probably cause Peake to die or live, and I'm not sure which one to do. But I guess Caster's showing his true colors. But yeah, we'll go ahead and end it here and pick it up next time. If y'all like the episode, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. And we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.